Hello, welcome back to the AI Code Central podcast with me, Kaz, and the other guy over there, Charlie. We're on episode delusional. Anyway, we're on episode number 8, and this week we are very happy to bring you another great interview. This time it's with Meg Faibisch Kuhn. She leads a community called Women Building with AI, which is focused on hands-on learning and real-world builds. She's also the educator and founder of Aioli, where she's helping founders and creatives turn what could potentially be overwhelming technology into more practical workflows. And this might be my favorite one. She has ideas to app, which helps people like me who are not so great with like technical stuff, basically ship their first AI powered tools. And she has a prompt library and an AI tools directory. So I think that's why that's my favorite, because it has those two things, which to me would be super valuable. And also she's shortly going to be hosting a hackathon. So she's great. You can find her. We obviously will put in the show notes ways to get hold of her, but she is prominent on LinkedIn. She's also really often found on TikTok. And if you listen to the podcast, she tells a story about how successful one of the things that she did on TikTok was for her. So yeah, you can get hold of her in multiple ways, which we will obviously make sure that we highlight for you in the show notes. So again, that is Meg Faibisch Kuhn for you. So what's new in your world? Done anything exciting? I did something exciting. Well, I don't know if it was exciting, but
The world
I did it.
doesn't revolve around Caspods. Okay, so
Sadly.
went to Winter Park. Yeah, I've been dialing in the bike. Went to Winter Park. I almost hit a tree. I saw a moose on the way up. You just go up 70 from Denver to the mountains. You just go up I-70. You
Yeah.
go through this little town, and then after the town, you're in the town driving. It's like one road, which is the interstate through the town, and there's like couple restaurants, the gas station, and like that's it. So you go from like 75 miles an hour, you slow down to like 35 miles an hour, and then you speed back up 75 miles an hour.
Did we get pizza in the mountains?
Yes, but not from there.
Okay. I was like, I remember we stopped at a restaurant somewhere and I was like, did we get pizza? Yeah.
So as we're speeding back up, there's a moose that just like ran through the road, which was luckily like I saw it before it hit the pavement. I saw it just kind of run down. I mean, I hadn't seen a moose in like a year and a half. I forgot how freaking big those things are. Yeah, I saw Bruce the moose. He's kind of chilled for a second and then ran on the road, just kind of looked at us and yeah, just peaced out, just left. And then as I was driving away, he's like, that could have been really 2 seconds later, that could have been like pretty bad. And the guy in front of me, we were both speeding up. I was going about 65 and the guy in front of me like slammed on his brakes. There's 2 lanes, which nails down to 1 lane. So I was in the right-hand lane, which is on the side that the moose ran from. And yeah, he just ran in front of us. So the guy on the left lane that was in front of me, he like slammed on his brakes. He could have smoked that thing had he not.
Was he full? He was full size, like full grown, like adult.
Looked like it. Yeah. Yeah, looked like it.
Yeah.
He was a big boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just stopped and, of course it stopped traffic and just kind of looked at us and wondering what we were doing there and then peaced out. So yeah, I went up to Trestle, had some good laps. I am so sore. My hands, just from hand pump, just from gripping a handlebar for 4 hours straight, my hands are so sore. My lower back, I was complaining before we hit record, like, I think I'm just really getting old. Lower back hurts. Yeah. But no, it was fun. Yeah, and then on the way back, of course, I hit I-70 traffic. Normally it takes an hour and a half to get down. Sunday at 2:30. I thought I timed it right. I left at 2:30. Took me over 3 hours to get back to Denver. And it was just bumper to bumper traffic on interstate where it's, it's 2 lanes and you just sit for 25 minutes, let go of your brake, and then you sit for 25 minutes. And then it was brutal. Luckily, I had a potty break before I left. Cause and as soon as
Do you remember we did that and I had to pee so bad?
Oh yeah. I think I did too, actually. Yeah.
And we had to stop in like some random place.
Yeah. And that kind of crossed my mind. It's like, am I going to do like a Dumb and Dumber here? Or maybe just throw the bottle out the window or something?
You got to.
Made it down. And actually, I made note of this on my phone. So my girlfriend and I were talking about an event. It's called Future Ruins, a new first of its kind music festival. And it's founded by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. And they did the Social Network soundtrack. Facebook movie. Bangers. All bangers. And our listeners, they've probably heard the album front to back. So that looks incredible. That's in LA. I'm trying to pull up some. I took note of it. Of course, I didn't include the link when we talked about it. Okay, so yeah, Future Ruins, Nine Inch Nails. This is introducing Future Ruins. On Saturday, November 8th, Future Ruins arrives in LA. First of its kind music festival, the world's most influential composers.
Ooh. Oh, there's a whole long list of Oh, look. I mean,
Yeah.
I've heard of Questlove, obviously. There's a whole long Danny Elfman. I've heard of Danny Elfman. John Carpenter.
Yeah.
Oh, there's like a whole long list of people.
I would go just for Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. Just for that, I would go. So this looks really cool. This is
Ooh.
tickets go on sale May 20th.
So it's basically 8th. For people who love soundtracks, because that's what that looks like to me.
That's what it looks like, yeah. Yeah, and the soundtrack to, again, Social Network is incredible. Yeah. It's so just front to back. You can listen to the whole thing.
Well, that looks cool.
So yeah, we talked about going to that. We're looking into some tickets, maybe inviting some friends. Yeah, that was cool. And there's a race coming up I think it's in 2 weeks in Trestle. So as I looked this morning, my buddy was texting me. He's like, yeah, like you can still sign up and race. So I felt much better on the bike yesterday.
Except now you're complaining about everything hurting.
Yeah, and I was going to say, it's like now I've got poopy pants because my lower back is sore, my hands. Just the arm pump of just clenching, just like death gripping for 4 hours straight. Fun laps though. It was great. It was nice. It's not the hot, gross Florida weather. It's like a crispy, 70-degree mountain, like no clouds, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, did that over the weekend and need to continue to dial in the bike. I'm getting some new stuff for it, but that's probably boring.
Yeah,
anyway,
very.
Anyway, what did you do this weekend? Anything? I can't imagine.
So actually, I was watching the hurricane because it wasn't quite heading the way it was supposed to as soon as it was supposed to, but now it definitely looks like it's going to be what they call a fish storm, which is where it just goes out into the Atlantic and doesn't really bother anybody. I did see that there were some areas of like North Carolina that was doing evacuations or will be ahead of time. But I think if that swing goes east enough, they probably won't need to. So that's not a risk to us, but there's another potential wave coming after that, coming off of the coast of Africa. So we'll be watching that to see if that forms. It was a little scary to see how quickly Erin went from a 1 to a 5 though. So
I bet. That's
a little scary considering if that happens and it hits Florida, the intensity of that, because it was a very strong 5. So anyway, that kind of, we'll be keeping an eye on that for sure. Do you want me to tell you about my little AI adventure?
Can't wait.
I was very proud of myself. So real quick, our house needed painting and we don't desperately need a new roof, but we are going to put on a new roof. And so I painted the house knowing that the paint did not match the roof because the roof is kind of warm, but the paint's kind of a cool vibe. Cooler in it's not cool, it's like cooler. And so I was like, well, I'm going to paint the house now knowing that we're going to change the roof out because if I painted it to the roof color now, I wouldn't have the paint I wanted, whatever. And I was like, and if I decide I really don't like the color of the house, it's a lot cheaper to repaint a house than it is to re-roof a house. So anyway, we got the house painted. There was the whole ordeal with the front door. It's fixed now, whatever. And so my husband said to me the other day, you really need to decide if you want to do a metal roof or a shingle roof and what color you want. Because originally I was going to do dark. And I'm like, I just don't know. And then light bulb hit me. I was like, what if I use AI to show me what my house is going to look like with a metal roof, a dark metal roof, a light metal roof, dark shingles and light shingles. Okay. So I decided not to use ChatGPT because I'm quite familiar with ChatGPT, but also the ChatGPT 5 had come out and there'd been issues with that. So I was like, kind of want to stay away from what I'm familiar with, but also issues. Because the whole point is I'm going to learn more, right? So I go to Claude, I upload my pictures to Claude, I tell Claude what I want, and Claude is like, she's not good. Because she comes back. I literally wanted a picture of my house, like the photograph I took and uploaded, and then Claude to come along and put the roof on, but the picture to look like a photograph. That's what I wanted. And I know it can be done because I've seen it done. I've seen deep fakes. I've seen videos. I've seen pictures. I know it can be done. And so Claude comes back and she basically gives me almost like color swatches. Like, here's my house, the color of my house in a color block. And then here's what the roof would look like in a color block, but not a photograph.
Yeah. Okay.
So then I'm like, can you make it more realistic? And she goes, sure, I'll make it more. She doesn't. She gives me basically the same thing again. Now, I know that oftentimes it's what prompts you put in or how you word things. So I checked my prompt. I checked what I had asked her. I checked everything. And I was like, I don't think this is a picnic error, problem in chair, not in computer. I don't think it's a picnic error. I don't think it's a me problem. I think it's a Claude problem. So then I was like, well, let me try Manus. And if Manus doesn't do it, I need to see if it really is my prompt. Do the same thing in Manus. Manus takes a hot minute and he gives me exactly what I want. He gives me a dark metal, then he gives me a light metal, then he gives me a dark shingle, and then he gives me a light shingle. And it literally looks like I took the photograph myself. And I was like, okay, so we've talked to various people who have said that those three, and I'm only talking about three, there's a million other things out there you can use, but those three particularly have their strengths and have their weaknesses. And depending on what you're trying to achieve is going to depend on which one you go for. So now I've learned, okay, moving forward, if I want an image, I'm going to go to Manus because Manus is more likely to give me what I want. But I was then able to take those 4 pictures. And then when my husband came home, we narrowed it down to exactly what we wanted. And I literally took one of the pictures that Manus gave us and sent it to the roofer. I was like, this is what I want. Yeah.
How long did it take from start to finish, that whole thing?
Maybe 20 minutes. And that's because I gave Claude, I tried to rework Claude. And then it was because Manus took quite a long time to give me what I wanted. Yeah. But when he came back, he gave me everything exactly as I had asked for. So, I was like, I got to tell Charlie about this because I actually, and I used AI, and
you learned too, right? You're like, okay, prompt it this way, talk to it this way. And then you get this kind of output. Like, okay, I wonder if I do this kind of output, then what would happen?
And with Claude, I assumed that I was the problem first to check my prompts to make sure, okay, did I ask what I want? Clearly I wasn't. And so then when I went to Manus and I gave Manus the same prompt I gave to Claude, that was when I was like, oh, okay, so it's just that Claude doesn't have the capabilities at the moment to do this, but Manus definitely does.
Just for poops and giggles, did you try Henry? See what would happen?
I did not. I didn't because 1, again, I was familiar. And then 2, we knew about the thing. But now that I'm assuming the errors have been ironed out, I can go back and see if Henry can do it.
Yeah. See what he can whip up. That's badass though. That's cool.
Yeah. So I was pretty proud of myself for that.
I used it on Friday. I went dirt jumping on Friday, which on a bike is exactly what it sounds like. And I looked at, we're really close to getting it live in like the next 24 or 48 hours, an AI tool that reads your website data for you. And I said, hey, here's the idea. Here's what I'm making. I'm familiar with a couple of competitors. I was telling ChatGPT agent this. I said, find the competitors, find what podcasts they're on, find the founders or CEOs, find what shows they've been on, and listen to those shows and tell me how they made their product or tool. And then it took some time, but it came back with 3 episodes, time-stamped too, and linked. And so on the way to go dirt jump, I basically know how those tools are made.
Which one did you use to do that?
ChatGPT. I use Henry's agent. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Agent mode. Yeah. It's pretty badass. I was at the park. I mean, there's only one other guy there. He was in tech. He was like, yeah, I've been using AI. And I was like, yeah, dude, here's what I did on the way. He's like, wait, you like on the way here? It's like, he's like, that's fucking wild. You can do that. Like, that's pretty cool. Like time stamped it too. Like at the 12-minute mark, he talks about the stack and all that. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. I mean, moving forward now to see how readily people start using, because I don't have AI on my phone at all. And I didn't realize that Henry, by the way, if you go back and listen to early episodes, Henry refers to ChatGPT because of the lady on TikTok whose name escapes me now, Kendra, and the psychologist thing. But anyway, I didn't know until I had seen her TikTok videos that both Henry and Claude talk to you like Siri talks to you. So I don't have it on my phone at the moment, but I think that it's going to be just as much as people text and just as much as people Google. I feel like they're going to be like, oh, let me Claude this, let me Henry this. I feel like just like you Googled something, you're now going to Henry it or Claude it, or maybe not everyone's not going to call it Henry, but because it's literally at your fingertips now and you can just speak to it. You could be, like you said, I could be driving in my car and be like, Claude, tell me, blah, 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 blah. I'm on my way somewhere and tell me the best place to go to buy this or best place to go to get this. And it's going to just tell you like, okay, go here. They have it in stock in your size. If you take this route, the traffic's going to be quicker. Like, I think it's just going to be such a part of your everyday life now. Yes, I used it for roofing, but like a month ago, I wouldn't even have thought about it. I didn't think about it when I was trying to decide on the colors of my house, which had I done, I would have been able to look at all different colors of paints for my house, So I just think it's just going to be like readily available on your phone at your fingertips. I mean, you did it driving up to the mountains. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. So
it is, yeah, it's made my life so much easier. Like once you know how to use it, and then we'll talk about agents in a different episode. But yeah, it's I was like, I bet you could do this. I bet you could like literally tell me how this competitor is made. And then sure enough, like it came up and I was like, okay, Henry, this guy's a boss.
Do you think that will just mean that people start talking less about their tech stacks now?
No.
Because if you can come along and listen to it.
No, I don't think so. I think now it's about, distribution and so many, all these AI tools. This is going to open up a whole nother can of worms, which we should talk about in another episode. But no, because the game now is about distribution, speed to velocity. I listened to this guy's Lenny's podcast, and he's talking about how a new platform, what do you call it? A new distribution channel. So like a new, you have like website traffic, you have like social media, you have email, like a new channel is going to come in with, and he's thinking his guest, can't remember his name, sorry dude, he was saying it's going to be like a ChatGPT app store. And then I thought, that's kind of actually what we were going to we're kind of working on with here at AI Code Central. But do I think that will? No, I won't. In fact, I've seen some that are actually open source. So no, I don't think so.
Which obviously for those of you who don't know, we are going to be doing 2 episodes a week now. One on Tuesdays with just Charlie and I, and potentially probably just guests that we've had many great guests on. And that's kind of the way that we want to go. But then Thursdays, we're bringing in Connor, who is great with marketing. So if you've built your app and you don't know how to get it out, you don't know how to distribute it, you don't know how to market it, you don't know how to bring your customers in, Thursday's episodes are going to be invaluable for you because Connor is fantastic with that. His insights are really good. Yeah, Thursdays towards the end of the week. And also to talk, he'll talk about like GA4 and like data and analysis and stuff like that. So he is so great with that. He's a great asset to our team anyway. We've known him for a while, worked with him on a few different projects. So he's a really great asset. So definitely tune into those as well. But for now, I think we're going to round this up so you guys can listen to Meg. Like I said, she's great. Ways to contact her will be in the show notes. And then we will be back with another episode in just a few days. So yeah, we'll catch you in the next one.
Peace.
And welcome back. We're on episode 7 of the AI Code Central podcast, where I'm learning AI from almost scratch and Charlie tries to keep us honest. You'll see, again, we have another fantastic guest with us today. Her name is Meg Faibisch Kuhn. She's helping non-technical people like me ship real AI projects. So we'll go from ELI 5 to agents, and we might just touch a little bit on the ChatGPT 5 chaos that ensued this week. Meg is an AI educator and a founder of Aioli, where she helps founders and creatives turn overwhelming tech into practical workflows. She also leads Women Building with AI, which is a community focused on hands-on learning and real-world builds. And as if that's not enough, has started Idea to App to help non-technical people, again, like me, ship their first AI-powered micro tools. She curates a prompt library, which, oh my goodness, I need that in my life, and an AI tools directory. So you can go from where do I start to look at what I just did. So Meg, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us on our podcast. We are completely thrilled to have you. As I said off air, you are my person. I need a Meg in my life. So thank you for joining us. And why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit more about you, because I'm sure I didn't cover everything in that.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm really excited about this conversation today. Yeah, I mean, you got most of it, I would say. I just want to emphasize too that I'm not someone who went through school to learn about AI. I just, like many others, I think, AI happened to me, it happened to my career, and I decided I might as well try to learn this and try to be one of the best at it so that I could teach others and really, really excel in this era of AI where, it's touching every single part of our lives. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
100%. I know you have like a marketing background, which Charlie and I kind of sort of do ish. But I wanted to ask you, obviously you came from like what I would say is a traditional marketing background. So like obviously ads, SEO, all the usual marketing backgrounds. But what was it that kind of captured you about AI? Was it like, oh, this is where the future is going and I kind of need to jump on board? Or was it more like, oh, this is going to help me accomplish what I want to, like, far more efficiently? Or maybe like both.
That was exactly it, the latter. So I was always tasked with a million things as you do a startup where you need to be very scrappy. And I started using ChatGPT right when it came out. And I realized, wow, I don't need to possibly go and hire someone off of Upwork because I'm able to get much more done and much more organized than I ever once could. And so from there, I just started absorbing everything I could with a sponge. And really, it was newsletters that I started subscribing to. And that's how I started learning as much as I could, just trying every single tool that was out there that was hot, even though there was a lot of hype around all of it. I think that scrappiness was really worth it in the end to get a foundation going.
Are you like mostly self-taught, like everything that you know and all of the apps and available things out there? Are those things you found by yourself? You taught yourself?
100%. Yeah. Yeah. Now I do try to ask the community if they have any shortcuts or tips. The two communities that I've started, which have been great, but mostly I'm still getting all of my information from newsletters, AI newsletters.
Wow, that's impressive because that terrifies me.
When you're doing marketing for these startups, our background is in SEO and our SEO agencies. What tools are you using, and how are you using them in regards to marketing? Maybe like as like keyword research, like domain analysis, or like what were you doing and how were you doing it?
Yeah. What was I doing or what am I currently doing even now?
Actually both. How's it
Okay. I
changed?
mean, I think it's more exciting now because I'm able to take loads of keyword research data, for example, to synthesize that and make that relevant to whatever I'm doing. Because I always want to make data driven decisions, but I never really had the time or even the skills to make sense of it, honestly. So I think what's really cool about AI is that you can take tons of different disparate data points and then apply it to whatever you're doing and make that relevant for you. So I think specifically what I do now is whether it's keyword volume research, I have a whole bunch of different APIs set up to a Claude Code project, specifically relevant to things like woman building with AI, or whether I have maybe a directory running. And so all of my decisions can be informed by this machine that I've created. That's not making too much sense right now, but I think a more simple example of what is possible is that I make social posts, so like carousels, through my Claude Code projects. And I use that keyword research, Exa API, which is a great research tool, to create text content for my carousels. And then it makes images.
Oh,
So it's like all I have to do is really
ah,
talk about a topic and it
yeah.
will do the entire process for me.
I don't think I'll ever stop being amazed at the capability. I just don't. But also, it's not just the capabilities, it's the insight of people like you who say, okay, well, I could sit here and manually do this and use my brain or I can write something that just automates the entire topic and I've already got my prompts done and I already know what I'm trying to achieve and I can get this done in 30 seconds and it probably be better than what I can produce, right? It's just the insight of being able to know that there's something out there that can build that. Because I think like people like me who are still learning, I don't think I have any understanding of how much AI is capable of doing. And I saw on your LinkedIn, it says AI helped me basically renovate my kitchen.
Yeah.
And I was like, what on earth? Like, I could see like going to Pinterest and getting some like ideas.
I didn't see that. What
Yes.
What was that?
Yeah, I was featured in Business Insider. This came from a TikTok post that I did. This one, I think you might be talking about the pantry organization I did. This was maybe 2 years ago, where I basically just snapped a whole bunch of photos of what I have in my pantry and my fridge. And I asked ChatGPT to catalog it and then tell me what I should make out of those existing ingredients. But we did do a kitchen renovation as well. And basically, I had a style in mind and we wanted to be really thrifty the way we were doing everything. And so, again, I just took photos and I asked, okay, how do we install the overhead kitchen range that looks like this designer? And it told us step by step how we could build that. And it really did turn out well.
Seriously? It just blows my mind. It's like, okay, well, here's what you do. You do. And then you, at the end of it, have this kitchen that you've dreamed of having, like courtesy. I think for me, like I said, as a newbie, I feel restrained because you don't know what you don't know, right? I would never in a million years, because I just did my kitchen 2 years ago. I never would have in a million years been like, oh, I wonder if it just didn't cross my mind. Now I think, as I'm more aware, but I had seen that featured on your LinkedIn. I was like, that is like incredible to me. My mind is blown. My mind is blown.
Thanks. No, it's really fun. Yeah.
So obviously you're in marketing, you come across AI, you realize that AI can really help you with what you're doing in marketing. And I know you don't have like necessarily a tech degree because you went to school for agricultural business. So you didn't come necessarily from a tech background. What made you decide, okay, I'm going to take the leap from marketing, which I've been doing and which I do know, and just go straight into the AI world? Did you notice there was like a gap there, something you could, maybe try to fill, or was it just you just became passionate about like AI?
Yeah, well, I think I had all of this niche knowledge within the agriculture food industry, working with consumer packaged good brands. And I noticed the lack of adoption within that industry of AI. So I thought it would be natural for me to start helping small businesses in particular figure out how they could start using AI within their workflow, because I didn't see enough adoption and I didn't see anyone else really doing that. So I really got a foothold with my business Aioli amongst the clients that I was already serving in the digital marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was what I was already doing, but plus AI.
Right. Okay. And because you already knew how helpful AI was to you, you knew how much your clients could benefit from using it as well.
Exactly. There's almost no process that I did a few years ago that I wouldn't do now assisted by AI in some shape or form. And with that being said, I am very discerning where AI is used versus, human touch. But at the same time, I think every process could at least be supplemented with AI in some way or form.
Yeah, because we had this conversation with a guest a couple of weeks ago about where's that line between just letting AI do everything, but also especially when it comes to like creative things, like whether it's an art piece, whether it's a written piece of content. My personal opinion is that I do believe it still needs a human touch, because as great as you can hone in your voice on ChatGPT or Manus or whatever, a human voice is still better. And that's my opinion. I don't necessarily expect everyone to agree with it, but
still needs guardrails, right? Like
100%.
Yeah, for the voice of the brand. If it's, us doing SEO, it's the content writing. So you can't do AI. I would like it to, but I can't do AI for like everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be nice if it could though. And by the way, Meg, quick story. This is my like brain blowing apart moment. I'll ask you what yours was, but mine was earlier this year. It might have been December, I don't know, January, February, whatever. I had this idea for a while, again, with our SEO background. Can we forecast SEO? Right? Like it can, because we get asked like, well, when do we get our money back? Like what's the ROAS? When will it be 4-1 and 6-1 and all that? So I had this idea. I had signed up for a couple of different platforms that do, forecasting. And I was in ChatGPT one night. I don't remember what I was messing around with, but it prompted me, would you like me to make you a calculator? And I was like, okay. And then it like, opens up Canvas and starts spitting out the code. And I was like, holy shit, like, okay. And then I was like, I wonder if I can build the forecast idea that I've had for a while. I talked to a couple of developers, and developers, they're kind of rascals sometimes. They're like, they hate everything, and then like I think kind of the bigger picture, and they're like, well, there's a problem here and the problem here, and it's like, so when this thing was spitting out the code, I was like, oh my god, I wonder if can I build a forecasting tool, and then it spit out like just the raw first version of it. I was like, this is bananas.
Wow.
And so as Kaz would say, I lost my like entire next week of basically life. And it built a production ready, I mean, based on historical data, you plug in just organic channels, conversion rates, because we would do SEO for dispensaries. So average order value, and then it visualizes you pay this much, the value is Y, you get your money back in X amount of days, and it like visualize it, and it's like pretty accurate too, which is pretty bananas. So
that's incredible.
That was, we put on a subdomain and blah blah blah, all that it definitely helped. So what was your like, holy smokes, this is it, this was the first project where like, yep, I'm doing this?
That's a good question. Yeah, I guess it would have to be when I helped. Well, it was more of an automation. So I guess that one isn't my first app that I built, but again, I worked with food and beverage clients, or I still do work with food and beverage clients. And I basically built a mini tool for a juice company down in San Diego to automatically read incoming order emails and basically take the contents of that order email and tell them how much juice they need to produce every single week. Because they have like X amount of cucumber juice and like mint juice that they needed to squeeze. And this does that whole thing automatically. And so that saves them a few hours every week of really tedious data entry, and then also all the calculations that needed to happen. This was just ingesting automatically as soon as they got that order. So that's pretty cool. And just seeing the time saved for some small family business every single week is really, really cool, because clearly they don't want to be in the weeds with that type of stuff. They want to figure out how they can grow their business overall.
Time, right? Yeah. I just built one. I haven't even showed Kaz yet, actually. Are you familiar with PDF.ai?
Yeah.
Just a chatbot. So picture that, but just for GA4 and Search Console and like SEMrush and Ahrefs spreadsheets. So you just upload a file, and then it literally just summarizes it for you. You can do like monthly reports on it. It's like, it tells a story on the data.
That's awesome.
It saves like so much time, because I tell Kaz, like, I don't want to know how to make a pizza. I want somebody to put it on a plate and basically like spoon feed it. Here comes the airplane, and like put it in my mouth for me, and just make it as simple as possible.
Totally.
Sorry to interrupt you, but like literal light bulb moment. I wonder if that's why Charlie like ran with AI and I'm far more like, because I am a questioner, right? So he just wants to eat the pizza, doesn't care. I want to know, how did you make the dough? Like, what cheese are we using? Like, I'm very much analytic. I hate data. Data's not me, but I'm very much a questioner, because I need to be able to understand something fully in my head. Where Charlie, and he gets very annoyed at me because I ask a lot of questions. And I always say, it's not that I don't believe you or don't trust you or it's none of that. It's just the way that my brain works. And when he just said that pizza analogy, I was like, maybe that's why I am the way I am.
No, that totally makes sense. I think that's good to balance each other out, being cautiously skeptical.
It's so annoying. It is so annoying. It is like the thought I have in my brain right now is that Portlandia scene where like, oh, like, can we meet the chicken? Like, what's the chicken's name? That's like,
oh, I didn't realize it's that intense.
Anyways, so when you build stuff like that, Meg, like, do you keep? I always picture like have it in the front of my brain of just make it as easy as freaking possible to use, because that's what people are basically buying is it's their time back.
Yeah, well, so that example was a make.com automation. So that was a set it and forget it type thing, which is great. It still runs just as it did when I first built it. But I realized, you got to make it easy for an end consumer who doesn't know how to use AI, won't be able to troubleshoot. And I don't really want to be around to troubleshoot too much too. It also wouldn't make sense for me to be on a retainer for them. So unless they really need help. But that's why I started creating apps, so that you create a really user-friendly interface that they can maintain and manage going forward. Yeah. So that's why I started building apps, little micro tools for myself to test out, and then I'll do it for clients as well. And also just set people up with suites of tools that make sense for whatever they're actually doing. Because right now it's really easy to just get overwhelmed by all of the different tools. But if someone like me comes in and has tested all of them, you can really synthesize it down to someone, apply it to their actual workflow so that they don't have to spend all of that time testing things out for themselves and realizing that's not going to work for certain reasons.
I will say the whole prompt library for somebody like me, I think would be 100% invaluable, because again, it comes down to the you don't know what you don't know. So I don't know, like I know there's kind of ways where you can certain prompts, but there's other prompts that I don't know really how to ask, what to ask. I recently discovered, by way of viral TikTok, with a lady who fell in love with her psychiatrist. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yes.
If you have the time, it's incredible. But like, there are ways in which to tell Henry basically to not be a yes person, right? Don't kiss my ass. Like, I need you to, like, there are certain ways in which that you can create Henry to tell you exactly what you want to hear, or to really not tell you, like, give it to you straight. And so having a prompt library, I think, is incredible. And also a tools directory, because sometimes Charlie will be like, oh, have you used this? And I'm like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what it does. I don't know how it acts. And then he'll be like, it's kind of similar to Bolt. And because I have used Bolt once, I'm like, okay, if you put it into that kind of category, or he'll be like, use Claude for this because Claude is better at this, this, and this than, say, ChatGPT. So having access to somebody who's curated all of that, as a person like me who doesn't really know much, I think is incredible. So your ideas to app thing, I think it's a great, valuable resource for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the goal, is to try to get people who feel overwhelmed a little closer to real solutions and actually feeling like they want to use this technology.
Yeah, well, it made me like, well, I got to check this out now, because I don't know. And then real quick, I just wanted to talk to you about women building with AI. Big fan. Probably should get on that myself, because that applies.
Everyone's
What was it that made you want to focus on women in AI?
Yeah, good question. I think so. I have some social presence on a couple platforms, and I started basically vibe coding as a non-technical person who started picking up all of these tools like Lovable and Bolt.new, all of that. And then even going as far as learning and teaching myself Cursor. And I'd go onto lives often, and I'd post different videos on TikTok about myself doing this. And I'd get a lot of very negative feedback and comments from developers who now I know are really just feeling threatened about people like me even come and do any of this.
Right.
So just, they were so cruel and so mean. And the large,
they're brutal.
We're these tech guys, tech bros. And that just turned me off. And I realized, if I'm putting myself in this vulnerable position, imagine all the women behind the scenes who wouldn't even put this type of work online, but also read these comments and think, oh, that's not for me, because of how negative people are responding. So I wanted to basically create a safe space for women to explore AI and understand the risks and possibilities. So that's why I started Women Building with AI.
Was it like overwhelmingly developers that were just being that way, did you find? Or was it just typically just like tech bros in general?
I mean, I guess it was hard to discern. Like they hide behind usernames on TikTok. So who really?
I sure do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But definitely a lot of developers who were just saying, no, you can't do it this way. And you totally can do it a certain way. It's just not how they prefer to do it. So that was really frustrating. And, you have to have a chance to at least experiment and understand what's right and wrong. on your own terms before understanding whether you should or shouldn't do something. So having all the public audience was tough to do that with. Yeah.
But also, I think if you don't come from a developer background, which you don't, I don't, if you're starting out in the AI world, right, exactly like you did, and you've got people who know developing, live, breathe, die developing, and they're telling you you can't do it this way, but you're looking at an AI tool that you think can do it that way, you're kind of torn because you're like, well, this is a developer who's been doing it for 20 years, who's telling me that that's not possible, but there's this tool over here that makes me think that it is. But if I take this out online and I ask people which is the correct one, I'm just as well going to get 50% telling me I can't and 50% telling me I can. So either I'm going to do it myself, or now that we have the Women Building with AI initiative, I can go on there and talk to that community and discover exactly what I can and can't do. You didn't have that luxury because at the time you hadn't created this community yet. So yeah, going up against internet strangers it's not a fun time.
No, definitely not. And luckily I did have some great supporters who made me understand the other side's perspective as well. And that they're the ones telling me they've just never used these tools. They don't understand how it could possibly work like that. And they're never going to change their mindset, which was interesting. Yeah.
Plus it's been their career, right? That's what they've done for their whole career. And now you're telling me you can write in an hour what's taken me months. Like,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And not to say that technology is perfect, but they also, I find people who are skeptical of it haven't spent enough time with it and won't troubleshoot, because you do have to fix a lot of broken things. And at that point, I get it. They would rather do it manually. But for someone like me who couldn't write a line of code, that's worth it for me to spend time to understand the quirks of all of this. Yeah.
What's the hackathon that you're going to be putting on?
Yeah. So it'll be the first hackathon with Women Building with AI. And we don't have a theme yet. So we do have credits generously provided through Vercel V0.
Okay. Cool.
And so we'll be using that tool and some others as well. And I really just want to encourage women who've never tried to build their own apps for the first time, build something that could be useful to their workflows and just understand the technology and have that first epiphany of actually build an app.
Yeah. When is it?
We are aiming for late September.
Late September. Okay. Maybe we should cover that. Kaz, you think you'd make something? Would you?
No. No. I'm just being completely honest with you. No.
It's really...
You see what I mean?
We could have Kaz yes woman. Like what would Kaz do if she always said yes?
It would be like 4 different
LLMs
to put that together.
That complex.
Yes.
Because I'll tell you the very first problem with Kaz doing a hackathon is I don't have an idea.
I think you're full of ideas.
I wouldn't.
You would find something though.
No, I would spend the entire however long duration of the hackathon coming up with ideas, and I'm great at writing lists, by the way. I don't have an idea. I don't have an idea. And you know what? Yeah, no, I don't have an idea. But I wonder how many people go into like something like that where they start out with what they think is an idea and they don't. Because I want to say when we interviewed Adrian, who just won the hackathon with Bolt, I'm pretty sure his idea that he went in with was not the idea that he submitted in the end. Am I right in that? I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
I think he had a pretty good idea of it.
But I think it was like not the finished project. Anyway, we talked about this at the beginning. Half of it is having a great idea, identifying a gap, right? That you've been able to identify through literally your own work in marketing with other companies and identifying that gap. Charlie identified a gap with this podcast. Like you have to have like the ideas and being able to identify where there's something that you can bring in a change. I don't have that.
Well, I mean, that's a good point where I should definitely do the idea validation framework for everyone before going into the hackathon, especially if you're going to spend any of your precious time building something. You want to make sure there's some sort of purpose behind it, I think, because I don't want to go to die.
Sorry, is that the idea, Meg? Is for it to be like commercially viable, or is it like a personal, like you can make like a personal like to-do list or something like that?
Yeah,
or is it just build something?
Build anything in this case, because some people do have ideas, but of course some people don't. And so I think if you don't have an idea, taking the pressure off of making it commercially viable is better, and making something for you to understand A, how this technology works at all, and then B, that you can go and improve upon it. And then maybe that will spark something.
Gotcha.
For a future idea. Yeah.
Gotcha. So this Women Building with AI, were you covering the outside LLMs hackathon? Is that event? Is that what that was? Or can you talk more about that?
So since I want to throw my own hackathon, host my own hackathon, I wanted to attend my first hackathon because I had never been to a hackathon. So I just happened to find outside LLMs, and I live here in the San Francisco Bay Area. So it was really convenient for me to attend. And I ended up in the top 5 winners. So that was pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah. And that was my first hackathon. But something that was interesting there, an observation, is most of the winning teams, we don't have technical backgrounds, but we worked with Lovable enough that we were able to get our idea into an app within those 3 hours that we were allotted.
It was 3 hours?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. That's pretty wild. What did you make?
I made something called Outside Cam. So it was for Outside Lands Music Festival in San Francisco, if you're familiar with it. And the theme that I went after was the track for making a festival app for attendees. So the idea would be that this would get integrated into the official Outside Lands app. And I made a virtual photo booth that if you took a photo on your phone with the app, you could submit it for the chance to get on the big stage on the screen. And then also at the end, it does a collage recap of all of your festival photos, branded with the festival logo.
This comes back to you having an idea because you've been to festivals, you noticed a gap, you knew what you would like to see as an attendee, hence the birth of a fantastic idea, right? So in regards to that / hackathon, with so many AI tools and apps and things coming out now, like I think we talked about this either last episode or the episode before, even Apple is now like the AI is answering the phone for you for numbers they don't know, and they're checking if you want to talk to the person before your phone even rings. Like, how do you know? You have to stay on top of it like daily to know that somebody hasn't already created the app that you just had an idea about for the festivals. So when you're entering, say, a hackathon, or you think you've got this great, fantastic idea, how on earth could you check if these have already been created? Because it's like hourly, there's a whole new tool come out. Hourly, there's a whole new app that's come out. So let's just say I was going to enter the hackathon and I had this idea. How on earth do I know if somebody hasn't already created it and I'm just unaware of it?
That's a good question. I think for the hackathon in particular, I mean, we all heard each other's pitches, so there was some overlap. But I will say that just because I think even today alone, 100 people across the world are probably going to create the same exact app, but different flavors of it. So, but also at the same time, it doesn't really matter because it only matters who can distribute that the best.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Boom. That's it. That's it right there, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's tons of opportunity for people to go to the App Store right now, look at apps that are kind of legacy, and you're wondering, why do these still stick around? And for you to maybe clone that app and find ways to make it better and easier for the user to use. And then maybe you'd have some sort of leg up. I think that's what happened with Weight Watchers, one of the calorie tracking apps, MyFitnessPal, and then Cal AI. Did you hear about that story?
Yeah, Cal AI was
No?
made by was maybe the same kid that did that dating app.
Oh yeah. I think
Same kid, right?
Blake something, and then Zach, he was 17 years old.
Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 of them or something. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to have to clue me in super quick because I have lost a lot of weight in the last few years and I have used my Fitness Pal for as long as I can remember. But then I started using Lose It because Fitness Pal were getting rude with their pricing and I did not like it. So give me the rundown real quick.
Well, Cal AI, I mean, they just rose to popularity because of TikTok, I think. I think that was
Okay.
Yeah.
But really, the idea here was that you just take a photo of the plate of food you're about to eat, and it would estimate the calories of that plate of food. And jury's out on the accuracy of that. But I don't want to say one way or another. But yeah, regardless, they, I think, make 5 million at least, I think, annual recurring revenue. I don't want to say, the exact figure, but it's pretty incredible.
I mean, honestly, though, if I make mashed potatoes and you make mashed potatoes, we're not going to make them the same way, right? You might use like, I don't know, low fat everything. And I might put in half and half or full fat milk and like massive amount of butter. I'm going to say, I don't know about the accuracy, but for it to be as successful as it's been must mean that people are losing weight using their app, right? Otherwise it would have just bombed. So somewhere in there, something's working, I guess.
That's true. Yeah.
Like, real quick, because I know Charlie has a question for you. So we've talked about like you have to have an idea. We've talked about you have to be able to build it, and then we've talked about you have to be able to get it to market, right? Boom, boom, boom. Of the three, what do you think is the most challenging?
Oh, definitely building an audience. Yeah, which is what led me to build audiences for myself. Because now I think I'm less interested in making any sort of commercially available app. Now that I've realized I really enjoy educating people around AI rather than building an app and dedicating all of my time to marketing that, because it does become a full-time job. But I really think the technical barrier to actually building way, way down. I will say that my philosophy would be to build an app to get it to a point where I want to scale it. I would then hire an AI assisted developer who is an expert to help me scale it, make sure everything is good. Because I don't want to spend all my time in the technical trenches anyways. Yeah.
Gotcha. So in regards to the hackathon coming up, as we wrap up here, what can registrants expect? What's going to happen? How long? Any in all details?
Yeah. So it will only be a single day in-person hackathon. But of course, similar to how Outside LLMs was, we're hoping for just 3 hours of building, which is really tight time, but does allow you to get to an MVP. There will be training in advance of how to use these tools effectively. So how to write out your product requirements document for whatever your idea is. That way you're not going into it blind and you have a broken app by the end of it. And we'll be floating around, the team will be floating around to help people figure out how to debug as that comes up so that they can push through and then have something that they can demo at the end of those 3 hours. Yeah.
3 hours. Cool.
Yes.
Do you know what I'd be doing? Coming up with an idea.
I will say people should bring their ideas to the hackathon in advance.
Definitely.
Yeah. Because otherwise that's really stressful. And I think if you have a good plan going into it,
100%.
The fun is that you can just build that out right then and there.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to set up your winners for success, is coming in with an idea that you've really thought about, that you've hashed out, you've researched to make sure it's unique, and that in your mind you know the stages of building it, right? Because I think that's if you go in like me, just you're not going to get anything done. But definitely preparation, especially since it's 3 hours, is going to be 100%. Like, I mean, you've already done it. You've done it yourself, so and I'm sure if you were to do it again, you would do things differently than you did previously, right? Experience is key on that. But I'm excited. I'm really excited. I hope you come back. No, absolutely not. I'm excited, and after it's done and we have a winner, I'd love to have you come back and maybe with the winner so we can talk about it.
Really fun,
because I think that'd be really fun. I think it would be really interesting to see how your winner like tackled, the project in the 3 hours, and I would love to see that. But
it'd be really crazy, really wild, is if Kaz won.
It's in the car.
First of all, listen. First of all, I still have it. But even if I did, everyone would be like, "Oh, that's a fix."
No, not at all. No, because what's cool about these hackathons too, we can see the history of your chat for how you got there.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Oh, like show your work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then you can't be cheating. Which you shouldn't be doing these things to cheat anyway. It's all about experience, but people cheat. I don't know. Okay, well, we are going to wrap up. We do have some quick fire questions for you. None of them are life changing. We're not solving world problems, just random things. When you're building, what's your drink of choice?
Oh, definitely just black coffee. Like that's what I have right here. So. You're not a black coffee person? No.
No, my husband is a straight iced black coffee person. And then our daughter also took after that. Although you take her to Starbucks and get her a frappuccino, mocha, latte, whatever, she'll drink that too. But yeah, this morning she was drinking straight. I cannot do it. Charlie, what's your drink of choice?
Americano, decaf though.
Oh, yeah.
Caffeine just wires me out. I have insomnia. I try to stay away from caffeine.
What is one AI tool that you cannot live without?
Definitely granola. If you haven't heard of it,
I haven't tried that. What is that?
It's a meeting transcriber, but it works in the So instead of having a bot join your video calls, it's just taking a text transcript of every single word that everyone is saying, and then you can chat with your whole meeting transcript. You can get an email follow-up, all of the things you need. It's great. I don't like the other ones like Fathom or Otter because the bot that joins is a lot.
And is it able to recognize different voices?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. See, I'm still fascinated. I love it. Okay, what is your favorite non-AI tech gadget right
now? Ooh, that's it. I mean, the phones are still non-AI pretty much. I would say I can do a lot with my phone. No, but I feel like there's a better answer than that. What is a good non-AI tech gadget? I guess I don't really have too many. So it's going to be my phone.
Your phone. That's fine. Mine would be my coffee machine. I don't know.
Oh, I use Cometeer, if you've heard of that. They're these little coffee pods. That is technology, I guess, but it's amazing.
Wait, they're frozen? What?
Yes. They're so good, and they're from the best roasters across the country. So every time I'm drinking coffee, it feels like I went to a really nice coffee shop.
Wait, what's the name of it again?
It's called Cometeer.
I'm literally, as we're doing, that's it. I gotta check this out. Okay,
yeah.
Good.
I guess that's my favorite piece of technology because I enjoy it every morning. So, yeah.
Okay. What is the most surprising AI application you've seen recently?
Oh, I guess Claude Code, because it stuck with me, and it's rare for me to have a new tool that actually stays within my set of everyday tools. And Claude Code has enabled me to do things that I just never could have imagined doing. Also, I haven't had to hire additional people because it's taken the roles of that, which has been amazing for me as a small business owner. Yeah.
Okay. We asked this of a guest a couple of weeks ago, and his answer floored me. When you're building, what do you have on in the background? Music, TV, audiobook?
Music, for sure. But I do love a few podcasts about AI, and it always motivates me to build better. Yours included.
Thank you.
We had a guest on a couple of weeks ago. John, I'm pretty sure it was John Cheney.
Yeah.
Right? John Cheney, asked him this question. He codes a lot, like he builds a lot. His answer was nothing.
Wow.
And I was like, I don't know how, because he works like a lot of hours in a day. He has a couple businesses, like he's a very busy man. And yeah, he literally has like basically nothing on in the background. And I was like,
that must be good for his focus, I guess. But I couldn't. Yeah.
No, because I feel like I don't know, a dumpster truck outside my house, or I'd hear my neighbor come home or something. And now I'm like sidetracked, and now I'm focusing on that and not focusing on what I'm doing. So
yeah, agree.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. We're done. We have taken up more than enough of your time. So I want to say thank you. For me, you've been like, in a way, inspiring, because I am a woman and I am learning AI, and you have just got tools out there that I know would help me. I am definitely going to go and check out your prompt library, because I think that's definitely one of my weakest points. So 100% will be checking that out. So for our listeners and our viewers, they can find you on LinkedIn under Meg Kühn. And then you also have your website. I'm literally just pulling it up now so I can make sure I give the right website. I'm going to spell it because it's going to be easier that way. It's MAGFAIBISCH.com. And that is going to take our viewers and our listeners over to your website so they can reach out to you. We will put all of this in the show notes, obviously. But again, I just want to say thank you so very much for your time. It's been amazing to have you. And I really, really do mean I would love you to come back and talk to us after your hackathon, because I really would like to get with you and the winner and find out how it went and why their particular project won your hackathon.
Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, we would love to do that. We'd love to be back, and we'll give a full recap of how the hackathon goes.
Maybe I might do the next one.
Yeah, we'll convince you next time. Once we have one under our belt, you'll come back.
Well, once I've played with your prompts and your other apps that you have available for me to be able to see, once I've had a play with those, I'll have a bit more confidence. And maybe between now and the next one, I'll have an idea.
Wonderful. Yeah.
So there we go.
Great. Well,
all right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate
Thanks,
you.
Meg.
We'll have your contact stuff in the show notes. And yeah, can't wait to talk to you again.
Perfect. Me too.
Thank you.
Good day.